This is Harding Football with Coach Ronnie Huckeba.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the Week 1 edition of Harding Football with Ronnie Huckeba. 2015 got off to a good start for the Bisons as they go on the road and win at Shawnee, Oklahoma in overtime 20-19. And Coach, I kind of kidded with you after the game with the fact that you'll never forget win number 50 as head coach at Harding University with that win on Saturday. It was an exciting win in overtime.
No doubt, Billy. We were very fortunate to win that football game. When you open up your season on the road, you have a little bit different start time. Conditions were not great as far as the weather was concerned, and you got a lot of things that you could use and make an excuse about. But reality was we didn't play as well as we wanted to. We played against a team that was very fired up. I mean, they were ready to play. It was their Division II opener, their conference opener. And I was very impressed with the way those guys played. And we did enough to win the football game. We certainly exposed some areas that we need to work on to improve as a football team. And when you sit in the meeting room at 6:30 on a Sunday night and you look into the eyes of your guys, you can tell, hey, these guys, they got it right. In their head, they have it right. They want to improve. They want to get better. They know what the potential of this football team is. And they were ready to get back to work. So we had a great night last night.
Coach touched on the early start time, 11 a.m. start time. That was the earliest kickoff that a Bison team had ever played. How did that change the routine? Because I know it had to change the routine because you guys don't just get there and throw the ball in the air and let's go. I mean, it's a routine throughout the day to get ready for a football game.
Well, we usually like to arrive about 2.5 hours before kick. So you're talking about 8:30. We actually, the first bus, we travel in two buses. The first bus left our hotel at 8:30 and got to the stadium at about 8:40. But then you start thinking back, okay, what's our wake up time? What's our time to go to bed the night before? We didn't have a great experience with our hotel there. So we had some adversity that we had to overcome. But the great thing about it is we did overcome it. And when it got down to the nitty gritty with our backs against the wall on the field in the fourth quarter in overtime, our guys came through like we knew they would. And so we gained a lot from that experience. We really did.
You and I talked last week about the excitement of openers. They are exciting. It doesn't matter if it's opening day, opening night.
Right.
But also, obviously, Oklahoma Baptist was excited. You talked about all they had to play for with their first Division II game, new members of the Great American Conference. Going on the road and winning a season opener is not an easy task.
It's not, and you and I discussed this. Usually, when we don't, when we don't roll offensively, okay, and in the last 3 years, we've rolled offensively in a lot of football games. When we don't roll offensively, usually it's one of three reasons, and the first is our own level of execution. If we're rolling, we're usually executing at a very high level. That was not the case on Saturday. The second thing is the plan that they have defensively. If they don't have a good plan, then a lot of times we can roll whether we're executing at a high level or not. And the third is if they don't play hard. We have played teams before that played hard initially against us, but then as the game wore on, they did not play hard any longer. So none of those things happened on Saturday. We didn't execute at a very high level. They had a really good plan against us, and they played hard the entire game. So, we still had 430-something yards total offense, but we were not as efficient as we needed to be in the red zone and on third down. And, we did not sustain some drives that I felt like we should. But as I said earlier, boy, it gives us a lot to work on, and a lot of the things that kept us from being as efficient as we wanted to be were just little bitty tiny technical things that are inherent in this offense. A 6-inch step, rolling your backside knee, taking the right path. There's so many of those things that we did not do well on Saturday that we can correct, and a lot of it had to do with first-time starters, guys who know what to do, but they got a little bit deer in the headlights out there on the field on Saturday, and forgot some of their basic technical things, and we got a great chance this week to correct those.
Coach, you talked about a lot of first-time starters, and we'll get an opportunity to look at those first-time starters in the first half highlights, and we'll begin right after this.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million
Okay,
loving
Tim,
cats and
time-wise?
dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
To Harding football with Ronnie Huckeba. A sunshine-filled day greeted the Bisons over in Oklahoma on Saturday when the Bisons kicked off the 2015 season. And Ronnie Huckeba will start with the highlights of seeing your defense on the football field to begin the game before your offense would get it. And I know you have a lot of confidence in that defense.
No doubt about it. We've got we got a lot of veterans on the defensive side of the football, and got a lot of guys who have logged a lot of time on the field, and that's always important. This first highlight here, you see Dalen Skidmore, Madison Furman, great pressure from our linebackers on a little blitz package that we use, and Coach Simmons was in the middle of them on that.
This is the start of what would be a 99-yard drive.
This was, when you run the triple option, you know that you're going to run the football for big plays. It's a perfect example. We caught the secondary out of position. Andrew Dather by him on the post route. Park saw him, got the ball, even though he had a little pressure, got the ball to him, and big play for us.
Park Parrish making his first start at quarterback.
Yeah, Park did a great job for us. You can see Park right there. He has a great ability to make the first guy miss, and there was 7 yards after contact. There's the quarterback sneak in short yardage, which we use quite a bit. Midline triple option, all the way down to about the 1 foot line. Great blocking on that play by Riley Hawkins, Eric Mitchell, Nathan Cash, and we run the off tackle play to Matt Tennyson. Nathan Cash leading the way there, and there's our first touchdown.
And you had to feel great about that first drive. Again, that was 99 yards.
Actually, it was about 99 yards and 2
Yeah.
feet. We were really backed up, and that was a strong statement. Really proud of the kids. We came out and executed, and sometimes that's good, Billy, and sometimes that's not so good. You get the idea that, hey, this is going to be easy, and it certainly was not easy.
And we didn't see a lot of return yards as Tristan partially able to kick it deep.
Yeah, when we had the win, and the same thing for them, our Tristan did a great job. I mean, he almost kicked it out of the end zone. That was huge for us, huge weapon for us. A lot of penetration you can see right there, great hit. Knocked the ball loose. That was Scott Middleton. Scott really is a physical football player and is doing a great job for us in the secondary.
This is very, very near the end of the first quarter when your football team is about to turn around and go into the win.
Right. We had the win in the first, and we're able to do some really good things. This is Park, and that move right there kind of says it all for Park. That's the second time he's had a guy sitting right there waiting on him, and he made the guy miss, and he turned that into a long run for us.
Here we go to the second quarter. Bisons at this point up 7-0.
Now this is we run the bootleg, and those guys have got Park contained, and this is a case of him creating a play when there was really nothing there. Davis Holloman, stayed alive down the field, and Park threw that ball about 45 yards off of his back foot.
Into the wind.
Yeah, that was huge. This is good blocking right there for Larry Hill. Larry's a redshirt freshman from Cedar Hill, Texas, who we think is going to be a great one for us. We come back and do the same thing. You can see there's Cole Lockwood out in front of him, leading the way. Give the ball to Larry again. Not much there, but he does a really good job of making something out of nothing. This was obviously an area of frustration for us just about the whole day. Our field goal extra point team is not near as efficient as we wanted it to be, and we saw some things obviously when we broke the film down that we need to correct, and we're working really hard on that. We have a great kicker, Tristan Parsley, and we got to give him a better chance than that. Great stop by our defense, and here's a punt return by Corey Bassett. Corey's got some room right there, and Corey has great speed. He's a sprinter on our track team and does a good job of staying on his feet. And here we are with the ball in our opponent's territory. Great position to start. There's a midline option again for Park. Park was our leading rusher on Saturday, and it's been a long time since our quarterback was our leading rusher. He did a great job and had really good blocking. We get the pitch on the corner. Eric Simmons, great job of staying on his feet. We're executing the offense really well. Get it all the way down, run the quarterback sneak. He gets in. It takes him a while to sort of the pile out,
Right.
but eventually we have an official. I know sometimes our fans get frustrated with that, but they just want to make sure they got it right. We mishandled the snap there, and so we did not knock the extra point down, so it's 13-0 in the first half, and I think most of us felt real confident that we were going to continue to build on that lead, and unfortunately that's not what happened.
This is very late in the second quarter, and after the missed field goal, now Oklahoma Baptist is going to force a turnover.
Right. Right there, I thought that was dual possession, but maybe it wasn't. That's all I'll say. This was a huge play for us. They run the wheel route. Jonathan Coleman is running stride for stride with the receiver and gets the pick. That was big for Jonathan. Boy, we needed that right there. That was a great way to end the second half.
Yeah, we get to halftime, and I thought it was very important there at the half when your football team was up 13-0, Coach, to turn away Oklahoma Baptist not once but twice there in the final 2 minutes of the first half to have the 13-0 lead at the half.
No doubt, and Billy, that's been indicative of our defense. We played great in the red zone and have for several years. Yeah, I think that's a trademark of our defense. Those guys really take pride in it. They talk about it. And, you can give up yards in the middle of the field sometimes, but if you keep it out of the end zone, that's the name of the game. So very proud of our defense for that.
So at the half, the Bisons led 13-0. Stay with us. We'll come back and look at second half highlights right after this.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to Harding Football with Ronnie Huckeba. We are at half in the highlights right now. The Bisons 13-0 with the advantage coming out. And your football team would get the football to begin the second half, but the Oklahoma Baptist defense very stingy to start that second half, and they'll get the football back after a punt.
Right. They did a really good job with their their jet sweep. They're really running wing tee stuff out of the gun, which is that's Gus Malzahn's stuff. That was a great play by Matt McCown,
yes.
And he grabbed the guy's face mask, but it was certainly not a penalty that he meant to cause. It was not a mistake on his part. He just accidentally got hold of the guy's face mask. They're running the same thing. This is a great job right there by Cordell Zielinski. He's one of our team captains, been a leader for us all year long, and that was a huge loss on their part. And this is
fourth down.
Fourth down, touchdown run. This is Desmond Stegall from Searcy, Arkansas, and boy, Desmond had a good day against us. Did a really good job, and we thought we had those guys bottled up. It was 4th down. There was no way they were going to make a first down, and they ended up scoring a touchdown.
Extra points were hard to come by on Saturday,
yeah,
Coach.
Yeah, for both sides, extra points and field goals. This is that's Terrence Dingle right there with his first completion as a Harding Bison. Did a great job getting the ball to Andrew Dather right there. Good, really good job. And we run the toss. Look at the blocking out in front of Zach Shelley. We were really close all day long to breaking some of those toss plays. We come back and run to the other side. This is Eric Simmons. We're moving the ball down the field. You can see guys working hard on their downfield blocks. This is one that we wish we could have back. If you see the pitch man, Eric Kelly, he was by himself out there, and I think Terrence rushed that one just a little bit.
And that was on 4th down, so turnover on downs.
Great pressure right here.
Yeah, Benjamin Shields.
That's
was in
Ben Shields and Sam Blankenship, 2 of our younger linebackers, doing a great job. They come back, throw the ball. It looked like we had very tight coverage on the play. They ended up catching it. They got that one.
Yeah.
So here we are at 13-13. Now as I said earlier, that's not something that we expected, but that's what you get, especially in openers sometimes. It seems like that happens. Fantastic catch.
Andrew Dather, I thought, had a great day on Saturday.
Yeah, Andrew did, and Andrew is a very talented receiver for us, and we were really pleased with him. Park immediately knew he misread that one. When that happens, and they tackle the quarterback in the backfield off the option mesh, then we had a misread. Kicked it through. It was good. But Tristan had a little bit of a false start there, and so they waved it off, and now we're going to have to kick it again.
And it would prove to be a costly penalty.
Costly penalty. This could have been you can see we've got way too much penetration inside there, and but that's a good thing to be exposed in your first football game if you can go ahead and win it. Great pressure right there.
That was a big sack on 3rd down.
That was a huge sack on 3rd down, and that's Bentley Alsop right there who got pressure on the quarterback, and that was a huge play for us.
Now this is getting very late in regulation.
We were so close right there. I mean, that was close to being I don't know where we snapped that from, but 80, 85-yard run. But that's kind of the way the day went. Got mesh pressure right there. I think the fullback thought he was supposed to take it, and Park was trying to pull it, and there's a turnover. We had 2 turnovers. Both times it was B-back, but it's one of those kind of things that can happen to you a little bit, but overall we really took pretty good care of the football.
And it would set up Oklahoma Baptist with a chance to go down and maybe kick a field goal that could have won it in regulation, but what a great play by your special teams and Cordell Zielinski.
No doubt. That huge pressure up the middle. That's Bentley Alsop, that's Cordell Zielinski, that's Corey Bassett coming off the edge, that's Jensen Jackson. Great surge by those guys, and
that was with 4 seconds left in football game, so we head to overtime, and Oklahoma Baptist would have the first series starting in the overtime.
They did, and they did a really good job on that blitz, and got it to a good back, and he was able to get in the end zone.
That was the second play of overtime.
Right. Right then, I know those guys were feeling good about where they were and good momentum, and fortunately for us, we were able to. That looked to me like they had a low snap, but we had good pressure.
What was the feeling there when they missed the extra points? Score, get an extra point, and get out of here.
If you could have heard the talk on the sideline from our offensive kids, you'd have known we're fixing to take this ball down and score. Yeah, it was just tremendous, and you can see the surge coming off. If you look at how far we're knocking those guys off the ball, I was so proud of our offensive line in this situation. A bunch of young guys, in some cases, making their first start, and we're getting after it.
And the chance to tie it right here, Coach.
Yeah, look at Eric Kelly getting a great block, and Zach Shelley is a guy that you love, have the ball in his hands in a critical situation like that. And Zach got in the end zone for us. Here we go. This is to win the football game. Great hold by Eric Kelly, and there we go. 20-19. That was a really good feeling.
A lot of excitement on the field. I know the kids with a celebration down around the goal line, and the Bisons win 20-19 at Oklahoma Baptist. When I tell you what, it would have been easy at times, I think, in that football game for your team to really get down, and I thought the resiliency of your football team really showed up on Saturday.
You know, looking back in retrospect, that really was a really good thing for it to happen to our football team. I think we identified some leadership on Saturday, and when you have a young team and you graduated a bunch of seniors who had been leaders for a long time, boy, you need somebody to step in and fill that leadership void, and I thought our guys did it in a great way. It's tremendous for us to go on the road, not play near as well as we can, and still be able to get a win and go into this next week 1-0 as opposed to 0-1. And so lessons they are a lot easier learned off of a victory than off of a loss. So anyway, you have to do both, but I sure do prefer learn those lessons off of a victory.
Expand on the competitive spirit of Park Parrish. I've known him for quite a few years, and he rushed for 87 yards. You mentioned that. He threw for 123 yards, and he was in some pain.
He was. Park got banged up a little bit on Saturday early in the game, and but he's a warrior. He has a tremendous football heritage. We've talked about that before. His whole family is a really athletic heritage. On his dad and his mom's side, they are wonderful people, and they've raised an awesome son. And boy, his character was in great display on Saturday, and he did exactly what I expected him to do, and that is lead this football team when we needed it, and thought he played a great game.
You're talking about someone doing exactly what you thought they would do. Dalen Skidmore, 10 tackles to lead your defense.
Right, and Dalen plays with such passion and such energy. If you want a guy to come out to practice every day and be exactly what you want a practice guy to be and a game guy to be, you're looking for Dalen Skidmore. That's the way he attacks everything that he does with every fiber of his being, and we're very fortunate to have Dalen. And I know he's going to continue to get better too. He hasn't reached his potential yet, and he knows that, and when he does, he's going to be one unbelievable football player. We're fortunate to have Dalen.
So we are all smiles after week one. The Bison's on the road, a 20-19 victory as we head to week number 2. Stay with us. We'll get you ready for Southern Nazarene after the break, and also have a question from a fan for Coach right after this.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Really?
Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Harding Football with Ronnie Huckeba. We just finished up watching highlights of the Week 1 victory at Oklahoma Baptist, and now we get to a segment, Coach, that I always enjoy listening to questions from students and fans to you about the football program. And this week's question comes in from Hannah Robinson.
Hey, Coach Huckeba. My name is Hannah Robinson, and my question is, do you prefer starting the season at home or on the road?
Yeah, that's a good question. Obviously at home. I mean, we love to play at home, play on our field that we practice on every day, tailgaters out there in front of the GAC, getting to see the parents of our players come in from all over the country, seeing those stands full at First Security Stadium, and we have a great game day atmosphere. Love it, and it also gives us a chance to bring in some recruits that we're very interested in, and they can watch us play and kind of see what the Bisons are all about. So, yeah, we love to play at home, but unfortunately, you don't always get to play at home. And this year we got 6 games on the road and 5 at home, and so we start our season. It's alternating. You know, we're on the road, at home, all the way through the season. So this year we had to start on the road. Next year we'll get 6 at home. We'll get started at home. So yeah, but we definitely prefer playing at home.
Thank you for that question, Hannah and Coach. As we move forward to Southern Nazarene and game week and preparation for that, you said something to me after the game on Saturday in the locker room. You get a chance now to maybe correct some things from week 1. There's always, I hear football coaches talk about the improvements from week 1 to week 2, but you get a chance to do that after an overtime victory, 1-0 instead of 0-1.
Well, it just changes the demeanor. You know, we're all human beings, and our players are humans, and when you lose a football game, it's a huge disappointment. Now, you know, we know that disappointments are part of life, and you got to deal with it, and you got to bounce back from it. You got to persevere. That's part of who we are, part of our culture. But it is so much more fun to, you know, make those corrections after you won a football game. And so we've got a lot of work to do this week, but we're looking forward to it. And as I said, we had a great meeting last night. Our, you know, players were, you know, really focused. On Sunday night after church, we watch film, we lift, and we condition. And that's the way we get our week started. And then Monday is their day off, and then we go back to work on the field on Tuesday. So great night last night, and Tuesday our guys will be ready to go. They'll be focused. And we know that every week in this conference is a challenge. You can look back over the history of this conference, and you look at games where teams supposedly on paper were considerably better than other teams, and week in and week out these turn into dogfights, just like last week with us in Oklahoma Baptist. So when you look at Southern Naz on film, we do have some familiarity with them. Their defensive coordinator is now their head coach. We know how they lined up against us the last 2 or 3 years, but they may have a completely different plan this week, and so we'll have to be ready for that. I know this, when you look at their football team, the kids that I see on defense, they're very good-looking kids. They got a linebacker who's an NFL prospect, and I thought against Arkansas Tech, they did a lot of really good things. They had a lot of bad breaks, but they did a lot of really good things. So we know we're going to have to be ready to play Saturday.
And, Coach, I know you want a big crowd at First Security Stadium to begin the 2015 season at home.
We sure do. We want them to come early, tailgate, be there for the Brotherhood Walk, and, give these guys the support that they deserve, because we really do have some outstanding young men on this football team. As good as it gets. And so hopefully we'll have a packed house on Saturday to start the season off right at home.
All right, Coach, always enjoy being with you. Have a great week, and we'll see you again next week.
Thanks, Billy. Always fun.
So we hope to see you at First Security Stadium, 6 p.m. kickoff on Saturday night as Southern Nazarene comes to town. That'll wrap it up for this week's edition of Harding Football with Ronnie Huckeba. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.
This is Harding Football with Coach Ronnie Huckeba.